Turning 60 is a milestone that shifts life in unexpected ways. Some people greet it with energy and purpose, discovering new passions and joys they never had time for before. Others, however, find themselves unsure of what the future holds. Waking up without direction, feeling isolated, or even frustrated with the changes they're facing. What separates those who flourish from those who falter isn't luck. It's having the right essentials in place. Habits, support systems, and mindsets that promote fulfillment, health, and resilience. In this video, we're going to explore 5 crucial elements that every person over 60 needs to live not just longer, but better. These aren't luxuries or distant ideals. They're realistic, powerful shifts that can reignite your sense of purpose, joy, and control over your life. Miss out on them, and life can become a cycle of uncertainty and decline. Embrace them, and you'll find yourself waking up with clarity, strength, and a deep sense of peace. Stick with me to the very end. The final insight is something many overlook, yet it holds the key to everything else. Ready to take charge of your next chapter? Let's begin. One of the biggest myths about aging is that growth stops after a certain age. That once you retire, your best years are behind you. But the truth is, your 60s and beyond can be a time of incredible discovery and renewal, if you choose to keep growing. After decades of structure, responsibilities, and routine, many people fall into autopilot. They stop challenging themselves, avoid new experiences, and slowly lose that spark of curiosity that once drove them. Life becomes predictable, maybe even comfortable, but over time, it can also become dull. Let me tell you about Chloe Bennett, a 70-year-old retired school principal. After leaving her job, she spent her days watching TV, running errands, and occasionally seeing friends. At first, it felt relaxing, but after a year, she began feeling restless, like something important was missing. That's when she decided to sign up for a local pottery class, just for fun. At first, she struggled. Her hands weren't as steady as they used to be, and she didn't know anyone in the group. But week after week, something shifted. She looked forward to class. She practiced at home. She started gifting handmade mugs to her grandkids. And most importantly, she began to feel like herself again. Not just a retired woman, but a creator, a learner, someone evolving. That's the power of personal growth. It doesn't have to mean going back to school or launching a new career. It can be as simple as reading new books, learning a language, experimenting with art, or exploring a new hobby you've always been curious about. Studies show that continuous learning after 60 not only boosts mood and self-esteem, but also improves brain health. Engaging your mind in new challenges helps prevent cognitive decline, reduces the risk of dementia, and strengthens memory and attention. It keeps your brain active, and more importantly, it keeps you engaged in life. Curiosity is like fuel for the soul. It sparks conversations, brings new ideas, and keeps you looking forward to something. It reminds you that you're still capable of growth, still someone with interests, dreams, and the power to surprise yourself. So ask yourself, when was the last time you learned something new just because you wanted to? When did you last try something that felt a little uncomfortable, but exciting? If it's been a while, maybe this is your sign. Life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about growing in new directions. And when you commit to staying curious, every day becomes a new opportunity to feel alive. After 60, your body starts sending messages, some subtle, some loud. You might feel a bit stiffer in the morning, get winded more easily, or notice that carrying groceries isn't quite as effortless as it used to be. While some people accept this as a normal part of aging, the truth is, it doesn't have to be. Physical decline is not inevitable, it's preventable. Let me introduce you to Jack Sullivan, a 67-year-old former truck driver. After retiring, Jack enjoyed sleeping in and catching up on TV shows. He stopped moving as much, figuring he'd earned the rest. But within 2 years, he noticed he was getting weaker. His knees ached, his balance was off, and stairs became a challenge. One morning, he slipped while trying to get out of the shower, and that was his wake-up call. That fall could have ended very differently, but fortunately, Jack was okay. Still, he realized something crucial. It wasn't just about fitness anymore. It was about independence. Jack started small, walking 10 minutes a day around his block, then adding gentle stretching. A month later, he began using light resistance bands to build strength. Within 3 months, he felt stronger, steadier, and more confident moving through his day. Here's what most people don't realize: muscle loss, balance problems, and reduced mobility are not caused purely by age. They're caused by inactivity. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to regain what's lost. Maintaining strength and mobility affects every part of your life. It helps prevent falls, which are a leading cause of injury after 65. It supports your immune system and metabolism. It keeps you independent, able to drive, cook, clean, and live life on your terms. You don't need to become a gym rat or run marathons. You just need to move consistently. Go for daily walks, do chair exercises while watching TV, try bodyweight moves like squats, leg lifts, or gentle yoga. Use resistance bands or light dumbbells a few times a week. Even 10 minutes a day can create real change over time. And don't forget flexibility and balance. These are just as important as strength. Simple balance drills, like standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, can improve stability and reduce your risk of falls. The key is not perfection, but persistence. Every effort adds up. Think of it this way: your body is the vehicle that carries you through this next chapter of life. Keep it strong, flexible, and mobile. Not just so you can live longer, but so you can enjoy every moment of it. As we grow older, the world around us quietly begins to shift. Friends move away, family gets busy, and the daily interactions we once took for granted, co-workers at the office, chats in the hallway, casual coffee catch-ups, begin to fade. It's no wonder that many people over 60 find themselves spending more time alone than ever before. And while solitude can be peaceful in small doses, too much of it can slowly chip away at your spirit. Let me tell you about Ivy Adams, a 73-year-old widow who spent most of her time at home after her husband passed. She had her books, her television, and her routines, but something felt empty. At first, she thought she was just adjusting to a new phase of life, but after months of minimal interaction, she began feeling anxious, unmotivated, and even physically tired. Then one afternoon, her daughter encouraged her to attend a community cooking class. Ivy hesitated. She wasn't looking to make friends, just something to pass the time. But that one class changed everything. She met people, she laughed, she shared stories, and more importantly, she listened. Week by week, she started feeling like herself again. Not just alive, but connected. Social connection isn't about being the life of the party or constantly being surrounded by others. It's about quality over quantity. A few real, consistent relationships. People who care, who check in, who listen, can make all the difference. And this isn't just about mood. The science is clear. Chronic loneliness is linked to high blood pressure, inflammation, and even weakened immune function. It increases your risk of depression and dementia. Some studies suggest it's as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, but the opposite is also true. People with strong social ties live longer, recover faster from illness, and experience more joy in their daily lives. So what can you do? Start small. Call an old friend, join a club, a book group, or a walking meetup. Volunteer once a week at a local nonprofit. Schedule regular check-ins with family or neighbors. Even digital connections count. Regular video chats or text messages can provide meaningful interaction if distance is a challenge. If you've found yourself withdrawing, it's never too late to reach out. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've grown used to isolation. But that one message, that one yes to an invitation, might be the beginning of something beautiful. Remember, life is meant to be shared, and after 60, meaningful social connections aren't just comforting. They're essential for your health, your happiness, and your heart. When people think about retirement, they often imagine a peaceful life, quiet mornings, time with grandkids, maybe a few trips. But for many, one thing quietly lingers beneath the surface: money worries. And it doesn't matter how much you earned or saved. Financial stress can show up in unexpected ways after 60. Take Max Dalton, a 71-year-old retired mechanic. He lived modestly, had a pension, and owned his home. Things seemed steady until his water heater broke, his car needed repairs, and a surprise medical expense all hit in the same month. Suddenly, Max was dipping into savings faster than he expected, and with each bill, his sense of security slipped away. Financial instability after retirement isn't just inconvenient. It can be deeply stressful, and chronic financial stress isn't just bad for your peace of mind. It's linked to higher rates of heart disease, anxiety, sleep problems, and even cognitive decline. But here's the good news: it's never too late to take control. The first step is clarity. Many people avoid looking at their finances because they're afraid of what they'll find. But knowing exactly where you stand, your income, expenses, savings, and future costs, is empowering. It gives you the ability to make smart choices before things get out of hand. Once you've got the big picture, look for ways to simplify and protect your financial life. Review subscriptions or services you no longer use. Compare insurance policies. Many people overpay out of habit. Create an emergency fund. Even if it starts small, talk to a financial advisor or use community resources for free advice. Max, for example, made small but smart changes. He refinanced his insurance plan, cancelled a few automatic subscriptions, and started budgeting more carefully. He also began fixing up lawn equipment in his garage and offering low-cost maintenance for neighbors. That little side jig not only brought in some extra cash, it also gave him a renewed sense of purpose. If you're concerned about your savings lasting, there are many flexible ways to create part-time income after 60. Consulting in your former profession, selling handmade crafts or art, teaching a skill online, or in your community, seasonal or light freelance work. Also, plan ahead for healthcare and long-term care costs. They're often the biggest financial strain later in life. Understanding your coverage, looking into supplemental insurance, or setting aside a healthcare fund can ease future stress. The bottom line: financial peace of mind isn't about being wealthy. It's about being prepared. When you feel secure in your finances, you can focus on what really matters: enjoying life, spending time with loved ones, and living each day without that weight on your shoulders. There's something powerful about waking up each morning with a clear reason to start your day. Not just out of habit or because someone expects you to, but because you genuinely feel that your life still matters. After 60, when the kids are grown, the job is done, and the hustle slows down, many people find themselves wondering, now what? The structure that once gave their days meaning begins to fade. And with it, so can motivation, confidence, and even health. Let's take Grace Rivers, a 66-year-old former nurse. When she retired, everyone congratulated her. "You've earned this," they said. At first, it felt great. No more night shifts, no more rushing. But after 6 months, she began to feel invisible. Her days felt long. She missed the sense of being needed, of making a difference. Then one day, she volunteered at a local clinic, offering blood pressure checks and friendly conversation to seniors. Just a few hours a week, but it changed everything. She had a reason to get up. She was contributing again. She felt alive, valued, purposeful. Purpose is oxygen for the soul. Without it, life can feel like drifting in neutral, slow, unsteady, and eventually unfulfilling. But with it, every day becomes a chance to grow, give, and feel truly connected to something bigger than yourself. And the beauty is, purpose doesn't have to be grand. You don't need to launch a charity or write a novel unless you want to. Your purpose might be mentoring someone younger, taking care of a pet, teaching your grandkids how to cook, starting a garden, leading a book club, helping a neighbor in need. The common thread is this: your time, your presence, your experience. they still matter. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, experience fewer chronic illnesses, and have lower levels of depression. It even supports brain health and boosts your immune system. It's not just emotional, it's biological. If you're unsure where to start, ask yourself, what makes me feel energized even a little? When do I feel most useful or appreciated? What's something I've always wanted to try but put off? Sometimes, purpose is rediscovered in the smallest acts. A smile shared, a skill passed on, a story told. Grace didn't expect her post-retirement years to be so meaningful, but once she stepped back into service, even in a different form, her days were brighter. She laughed more, she walked taller, and she never again wondered if her life still had value, because it did, and so does yours. Life after 60 isn't a slow fade. It's a powerful new chapter filled with potential, freedom, and the opportunity to focus on what truly matters. But to live these years fully, you need more than just time. You need the right foundation. Let's quickly revisit what we've explored today. Stay curious. Keep learning, discovering, and feeding your mind. Stay strong. Care for your body so it can support your independence. Stay connected. Build and maintain relationships that uplift you. Stay prepared. Manage your finances to reduce stress and stay in control. And above all, stay purposeful. Give your days meaning and your life direction. Each of these elements works together to create a life that's not only longer, but richer and more fulfilling. Ask yourself, which of these areas are you already embracing, and which one could use a little extra care? Remember, it's never too late to begin. Change doesn't have to be drastic. It starts with one small decision today that makes tomorrow brighter. The truth is, aging is not about losing who you are. It's about uncovering new layers, new strengths, and new joys that were waiting for you all along. So take that class, make that phone call, go for that walk. Say yes to the things that bring your life meaning. Because life after 60 isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a beautiful new chapter.